Well, hello, Women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader, and welcome to another WOW Woman of the Week. Today, I have Mary Hagerson, Senior Director, Worldwide Partner Operations for Aruba, a Hewlett Packard enterprise company. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I'm so excited to get to know you better. So we're going to jump into a couple of just little icebreakers. If you don't mind, with our community members, can you share where you live and where did you grow up, if that's different?
Sure. So I live in Bakersfield, California, and that's Central California. And I grew up in San Pedro, which is Southern California. So I grew up Southern California. We lived in Orange County for a while, and we've been in Bakersfield about 17 years now.
Oh, wow. I love California.
Yeah, me too.
Today, while we're recording, it is Friday. So what plans do you have this weekend?
Well, actually, I have an opportunity to go to the Formula One race in Austin, which is really going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I've never been a huge car racing fan, but this just is going to be an amazing experience. So I'm really looking forward to it.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I hope you have a fabulous time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let's dive into our questions so we can get to know you. How about tell us about your career path and how you reached the position that you're in today?
Sure. So I started out right out of college. I was a psychology major and I was looking for a job. And I interviewed for a role as an assistant buyer at a distributor called Maricel. Maricel's no longer around, but it was really a great opportunity because it was when the tech industry was just booming. A lot of young people worked there. So it was a very fun company to work at. So much opportunity there. And we were given just really an amazing amount of responsibility to manage vendors. And I worked with vendors, everything from Disney software, which was very fun, to Sun Microsystems, much more complex types of vendors. And I was able to work with many different vendors over the years when I was at Maricel. Great memories of the time there. From there, I went to Ingram Micro, and I also went into their vendor management department. And although they were both distributors and it was a similar role, I really learned a lot at Ingram. I had a lot of mentors and leaders there. I worked on different vendors, and they had a different approach to working with their vendors. So that was really a great way to expand my skills in distribution and work on some other projects there. And after being in distribution for about 9-10 years, I decided I wanted to work at a vendor. And then I moved to Targus. They make the laptop carrying cases and the computer accessories. So that was a really nice move because I moved into sales operations and I worked on customer service and technical support. So really a way to take the skills that I had before and bring them into another area. I spent some time working on EDI as well. And I got a much better understanding of the sales experience and just how all of the sales elements work within a vendor, which I didn't have as much exposure to in distribution. So that was really a great opportunity. And then from there, I took about 8 years off. So I had twin boys, and when they were young, I took some time off from my career. And after they got a little bit older, I started to do some contract work for a couple different vendors. And one of those was Juniper Networks. So I was able to leverage the skills I had from before and kind of brush up on the skills because it had been a while. And then I moved to Hewlett Packard. At the time, it was before the split, and I went into the cloud business unit. And that was great, just learning all about cloud because that was new for me after being out of the industry for a while. So jumping right into the cloud business unit. And also from there, I was able to move into worldwide distribution. So got to leverage some of those skills. And it was at the time that Aruba was integrating with Hewlett Packard. So I had the opportunity to work really a lot on the Aruba integration. And I've been with Aruba for about 6 years now, and I've been focused on partner operations. So right now I really work on the partner operating model, making sure all of our partner programs work end to end in our systems, partner onboarding, global, a lot around global, and how our partners interact with us there. So it's just been an amazing journey And, looking back at all the steps that I had along the way, the mentors I've had, the opportunities, it's just been a great career.
It never gets old to me to listen to people's career paths and how they did, it's not this straight shot that you're kind of led to believe when you're younger and you're trying to figure out, like, what do I want to do with my life? And
Right.
your experience is just so versed on kind of almost the whole cycle, the whole gamut. So I'm sure that this serves you well in understanding like how one area impacts another and so on.
It really is true. The vendor side of it, the distributor side of it, the partner side of it, and also just working at different companies. I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of different great people and learn from them and their experiences. And so I think that's also been just, fantastic as I look back on my career.
Very cool. How about, have you ever been in a role that you didn't like, and how did you navigate through that?
I did have a role that I didn't like, and I had moved into this role, and it wasn't the role that was as challenging. It was really some of the people that I were working with, and they were very resistant to any change, not collaborative, not supportive. And it's not a good work environment if you can't work with people where you feel like you're all part of the same team. It makes it a lot more challenging. It's just not as enjoyable. So I first started to really work with these people to see how can I change the way I was working with them so that we could start to work more collaboratively together. And it just didn't change anything. And I just decided I'm not going to keep spending my energy on that because it wasn't changing anything. So what I was going to do is just focus on everything I could change, everything in my job that I could make an impact on. I was going to work with the people who wanted to work with me and were going to, collaborate with me. And once I started to see some of the changes of, I was able to, work more closely with some people, but other people it just never happened. So I focused on what I could change. And then I also really worked on developing relationships with people who were supportive and in other parts of the organization too. So I would reach out to people in sales and marketing and product management. And I really developed a network of people who I enjoyed working with, who were supportive, who inspired me, and I was learning from them. And so that really made the difference, just surrounding myself with people who I enjoy working with.
I love that your answer to how you navigated through that ends up really being some great advice, because we're not all going to be in the perfect job for us at all times in our whole entire life. So you took that experience and turned it into something very positive.
I did. And in fact, at the time, I was offered a role to go back to a previous company. And I was so tempted to take that because I thought, why am I spending so much time here where I'm just not enjoying this? And I decided I'm going to stick it out. I'd made a commitment. I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to make this work. And at the end, it really was a positive experience when I look back at it. I made some great friendships, relationships, and I really learned a whole new skill set too. So it was worth, sticking it out.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so what is something you've learned that you wish you knew early in your career?
So I think one of the things I wish I had learned early in my career was that I should have reached out to more senior level people and asked them about their career journey and advice that they had for me. Early in my career, I just never thought about reaching out to more senior people and just asking for their advice. And I look around at so many leaders today, and they're so willing to share their career advice. They're willing to mentor, younger people who are coming up in the ranks. And I really wish I would have taken that opportunity because there's just so much knowledge out there. People are so willing to give that information and support to people coming up. I just look back at that and I think that was an opportunity that I wish I would have taken, and I didn't. So I would just encourage people, who are early career or mid-level career even, reach out to different people, male or female. I know we're, really in a women's leadership here, but I wish I really would have looked at all the different leaders out there, even people in other departments too, to expand my knowledge, not just in vendor management or sales operations, but all the other departments, and reached out to them and made that effort. So I think that would be my advice to people listening to this recording.
And that's great advice. And I concur with you. It can be a little scary to ask somebody to help mentor, but the worst that they're going to say is no, they don't have time. They're not going to be negative about it. So don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have time for one more question. What are some experiences or transformational moments in your life?
Yeah, so I would say there's probably a couple. I would say on a personal level, I would say when my mom passed away, that was really a pivotal moment in my life, because she was such an inspiration to me. She grew up a daughter of an immigrant, and they didn't have a lot of money. And she really took every opportunity. My grandparents weren't educated, but my mom got her master's degree. She had a very successful career in teaching, and she was the heart of the family. So when she passed away, it really made me reflect on everything that she had given to me and our family, what she had accomplished, and really to take that forward, and all the wisdom and lessons that she had given to me, to take that forward in my life. So that was really a pivotal moment. And I think it probably sounds cliche, but you just don't realize how precious time is too. So that helped me kind of reevaluate where I was spending my time and reassess where I wanted to be spending my time. So I'd say that was really a pivotal moment for me personally. And it also impacted my professional life too, because I did think about, where do I want to spend my time? What's important to me? And then I would say on a professional level, I think one of the big pivotal moments for me was working on some of the large scale transformations at HPE. I had worked in, several other companies, but on much smaller projects. Mm-hmm. And so some of these large scale projects, they were really intimidating, just massive projects, massive transformations. And really what I learned is if you just keep at it, milestone by milestone, you can really, have a successful project. But it's having the right structure in place, being able to work cross-functionally, and really having, well-defined milestones and tracking those. So instead of it being so overwhelming, focusing on some of those short-term goals, having those milestones in place so that you can see what you're accomplishing, and some of these projects take months or even years. So that was really, I think, from a professional side, really transformational for me to see how to manage a large-scale transformation.
I really appreciate you being so authentic and sharing both your personal and professional. I'm kind of in all of you. I've only known you for 12 minutes now, 15 minutes. But I can't thank you enough for giving us the opportunity to get to know you. I know I learned a lot from you today, and I'm certain your story is going to resonate with our listeners. Just thank you so much for giving us your time today and sharing yourself with us.
Oh, well, thank you. And, this organization has been a huge inspiration to me, and I've met a lot of amazing women, and, I'll continue to with the future events. So thank you for having me. It's just been a great opportunity.
Thank you so much. Have a great time this weekend. And
thank you.
Maybe take a picture too, and post in the community so we can all see to this amazing community that I get to serve. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Great. Thank you.